Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figure It Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here. Welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of November 2023. So kind of a weird month. Mostly it's packages slash items that are going to get their own review videos, and this is just kind of a teaser to them. However, there are some convention pickups and some stuff you briefly saw, so we're just going to go over it. So thank you for joining me. Now, if you guys could do me a favor before we get into that, if you could like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, as well as check out all the social media stuff in the description. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, my travel channel. I appreciate the support on all those outlets. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Now let's do this. So technically at the end of October, I went to a convention in Toronto, Canada called the Toronto Game Expo. However, it was over Halloween weekend, so stuff I got there could not appear in last month's video. So it appears here now. So it was a really cool convention. I don't know if it was their first time doing it or anything, but it was a fun show. And it was really cool that they had me out there as a guest. So I got to go up to Canada, which was nice. And which I always enjoy. They gave me this bag. They also gave me some random like little goodies and stuff. Just an example of it is this cool like duck hunt, 3D printed keychain and stuff like that. It was a nice time. I know they're going to do that con again, so hopefully I get to go back. And I got to hang out with some of my buddies like Scott the Canadian, for those who remember watching a lot of those veteran videos from years ago of him being on the channel all the time, as well as my buddy, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, Re-Rez, Shane Lewis, the YouTuber, was there, of course. But yeah, so as far as like actual game pickups, I didn't get a whole ton of stuff because I was mostly confined to the booth, but I did a couple pass-arounds and I picked up some original Xbox games. For those who do not know or do not remember, the original Xbox might be the last system I ever get a full set for. I don't really know, but I am still actively trying to get one, and I've just been kind of chipping away at it over time, kind of slowly. But I managed to pick up a bunch of stuff. Well, 5 being a bunch, but yeah, we'll go over them. First one up is NFL Fever 2002, which normally I would have like nothing really to say because it's just like, oh, okay, another NFL game. Yeah, when you want a full set, you do have to get the sports titles. But I will say about this, not that the game is necessarily any good or anything like that, but one thing from a historical perspective that I find interesting about this, and I think this has kind of been forgotten to history a little bit, is there was a time right at the beginning of the original Xbox where Microsoft tried to have its own individual sports franchise for the original Xbox. Like they got into it with all the major sports outlets, so the NFL, the Major League Baseball, NHL, and so on and so forth. They even did some obscure ones like golf. They just made their own line of sports games, and that all came crashing down. And I don't know exactly why. I think it's because EA eventually got the NFL exclusivity license, and then they just got out of it. Kind of the same reason Sega stopped making the 2K stuff, and they just flipped Visual Concepts off to Take-Two, who changed them into 2K, who then started doing their own sports stuff, and then they just basically made NBA. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this is just kind of a remnant of a different era when Microsoft had their own line of football games, or Hand Egg, sorry. And then they also had, from the same series actually, Inside Pitch 2003. Inside Pitch was their MLB franchise. Now again, I have no idea if these are actually any good or not. I'm not really into sports games, but I do just kind of like the history of it. The fact that Microsoft, at least for a while there, was making their own franchises rather than buying out other corporations and having them do it. Next up, Kingdom Under Fire Heroes. I don't remember anything about this particular game. I know there's 2 of them on the system, and I want to say the other one's like Crusaders or something like that. But either way, there's that. Dynasty Warriors 3, of which I think there's 3 on the system. Dynasty Warriors 3, 4, and 5, I believe, are all on the original Xbox. Obviously, this is just the 3rd one. And the last one, the one that I was the most excited about, and I think, frankly, I have the most to say, is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I actually have played this. This is actually a pretty good game in the sense that it's like good because it's bad. I enjoyed it, even though it's not actually that great of a game, but it's fun enough. What I understand happened with this is, so the first movie came out, I think it was like 2001, and that was still the era where they made movie tie-in games. Now, at the time, the original Xbox wasn't quite on the scene yet, and so they didn't have a movie tie-in game for it. And the PlayStation 2 existed, although I don't remember if it had a game on it initially. Famously, the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone if you're in most of the world, that game is actually on the original PlayStation. And that's the one that got memed. You'll see those Hagrid memes all the time and all that. That's what that's all from. a few years later, I think it was like 2 years later, they had already made the Chamber of Secrets, and they made a game for that and all. And they eventually decided to kind of go back to the first movie / game and just redo it for the original Xbox. I think there's a PS2 version of this, as well as a GameCube version. Obviously, I know that for sure is an Xbox version. This is the hardest one to find of the 4 that were on the original Xbox. Probably because while it was technically a movie tie-in game, it was like a movie. Like the game itself says it came out in 2003, and I'm pretty sure the movie came out in 2001. So that's kind of the random history of it. Help Harry uncover the secret of the Sorcerer's Stone in this brand new game for the Xbox video game system from Microsoft. Yeah, so this one just kind of had a weird release where essentially they remade the game only like a couple of years after the movie came out. And it kind of went a little under the radar. So as a result, it's the harder one to find. But yeah, they had it there. So that was really cool to get. So big shout out to the people at the Toronto Game Expo. And again, if you're in Southern Ontario and the convention goes around, hopefully you go check it out. I'm not. I'm in Chicago, obviously. I'm an American, but I would love to go back. So moving on, another little oddity I got. This is just kind of a nice little quirk. My buddy Jesse, who is regularly on the Travel Channel, he's the guy who owns the Atari Jaguar dental unit. He's popped up in a few videos on this channel over the years. He sent me like a Christmas card thing, but in it was a 3D printed Sega Dreamcast he made with his username RetroPez. You can find him under the name RetroPez on like Instagram and on Twitter as well. He also pops up in my Discord as well if you ever want to talk to the guy. Really nice dude. He's like a brilliant engineer who like built my PC rig, and he does a whole bunch of just stuff all the time. Anytime a lot of stuff he's just repaired for me or worked on for the years. He's a smart guy, really nice guy, and yeah, also clearly a talented guy with a 3D printer. So, and yeah, it's basically like a little Dreamcast ornament. Nothing official, but hey, just really cool all the same. But thank you, Jesse, for that. Moving on. Now, earlier this month, I did a YouTube short, which, I don't know, people don't really seem to watch YouTube shorts, at least not the ones I do. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. I just thought it was kind of cool to give this thing a shout out. There's this device from a company called Unitech. Now, I did a long form video of this a couple of months ago, or a few months ago, with a different version. Basically what this is a little device you connect to the Nintendo Switch dock and then ultimately to the Switch itself. And rather than being limited to the single card slot on the Switch, you then suddenly have access to 4 slots plus an additional 4 that are just kind of dummy slots. And then there's a button on here that allows you to cycle between games. Therefore, you can keep the games in there and you don't have to cycle as often if you don't want to. And so I did a review of it. I thought it was a nice little product. It was cool. They sent me an updated version where really the only change they made was that they included a remote control, as that was like the #1 complaint was like, well, if I want to cycle between games, getting up to do it is just kind of irritating. So they gave you this little remote. And so I just did a little YouTube short to show you guys, but yeah, here it is. It's perfectly nice. Like I said, it's just an upgraded version of the original design. If you're interested in it, I'll put a link in the description. You guys can check it out if you want to. So huge shout out to Unitech for sending that my way. They didn't have to do that, but they did it anyway. So cool. Now, the rest of this stuff is all things that I'm just going to kind of tease you on, because these are all going to get individual videos. One of which I already had to open just to kind of verify everything was, you know, all good. That would be this, a Nintendo 64. Oh man, I finally got an N64. I certainly didn't have one of those. Yeah, obviously I do. This is special though. This was sent to me by Power Up Gaming, my buddy Justin. He actually did a bunch of modifications and upgrades and stuff to this, but the big selling point to it is that it has the HDMI mod by PixelFX, the Retro Gem. So this thing now has native HDMI output, and we're going to make a video about it, talking all about it, and see how good it actually is and all that. But very cool. So huge shout out to Power Up Gaming for sending this my way, and I hope you guys look forward to seeing a nice little review of it, because the PixelFX board is interesting to say the least, as it's compatible with a lot of different systems. Obviously in this case we're using it with the Nintendo 64. But now we have a couple of packages. If you want to check it out, by the way, I will put a link in the description to Power Up Gaming so you can check out his other work. Justin's an awesome guy. He sent me a bunch of stuff over the years. He's very talented too, so he's very good at modifications, like Jesse actually. They're both just talented. I wish I had talent like that. But anyway, we have a package here. This package comes from Turkey. Or Turkey, I believe they changed their name to that now. I know what this is. I didn't know it was going to be shipping from Turkey, and I think there's going to be some people out there who are surprised as to what this is and how I have it. But I was just as surprised as you. There's a company, I believe they're in the UK, not Turkey, who is working on a project. And you're going to be, to those of you who are kind of astute, you'll be a little shocked that I have this. So first we have a little cable here. All right, that'll come in handy in a second. this little nub looking thing. No big deal. We have some bubble wrap. Underneath that, we have, I don't know what this is. This is Turkish candy, I think. Probably some chocolates or something. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. That was nice of them. And we have coffee. We also have sirens outside. I apologize for that. Okay, we also have, again, more bubble wrap. And then we have the main unit. Well, this styrofoam stuff is going to break, I think. But that's all right. Okay, I think we have everything out of there that matters. This is... Okay. This is the Octopus arcade stick. Look at that. So there's going to be people out there who are like, whoa, 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 who already know what this is, and they're like, how do you have that? So here's the deal. At the time I make this video, this is an active, ongoing Indiegogo campaign. This company is going ahead and trying to develop a new arcade stick that has a big focus on the Sega Dreamcast, though it will have compatibility with other systems. So they actually sent me a prototype unit. This is not the final unit. It's going to get its own video. Like I said before, we'll talk more about it. But this particular one is only compatible with the Dreamcast. That's actually what this cable is. It's an extension for the Dreamcast. It has built-in like VMU LCD screen, as well as additional like memory cards inserted. So yeah, obviously I haven't used it yet because it's been packaged up this whole time. But very cool. Let me kind of install the little joystick bit there. Very neat. Yeah. So. Hopefully that Indiegogo project goes all the way through. I invite people to go ahead and support it. But because, yeah, this is one of the only units now out in the wild, I suppose. But the final unit, this one has a lot of 3D printed elements to it. They were very clear about that. But the final units would have like more, official factory, production. As well as this particular one is only compatible with the Dreamcast, but the final units will be compatible with firmware updates to other consoles. So this was kind of, in a sense, made for me, as it's basically exclusively a Dreamcast arcade fighting stick. But again, we'll do a video about it and talk about it later. So huge shout out to them. I'll put a link in the description to their Indiegogo campaign if you want to check it out and read more about it. Or you can just wait until the video comes out. Either way, I appreciate the support, and huge shout out to the guys who are making the Octopus arcade stick, and I really wish them well. I hope their project succeeds. Last but not least, certainly not least, we have one last package here, and this one is going to turn some heads, so let's just go ahead and open it up. This comes to me from, well, as soon as I say his name, I think a lot of you will know. He is an unsung hero in the retro gaming community. This guy does not get enough praise, but he has done a lot to make all of our lives a lot better. This is from Mike Chi, the creator of the RetroTink line of devices. And now you're probably figuring out what it is. First, we got a little USB-C cable. We have a remote control. We have, actually, I don't know what this is. This looks like an SD, oh yeah, USB to SD card dongle of some kind with micro, I don't know exactly, I'm gonna have to tinker with that. Multiple interface device, let's call it that. Bubble wrap. And then the pièce de résistance. We have, here it is, the RetroTink 4K. Yes. So Mike sent this to me for free, full disclosure, for the purposes of a review. And I'm looking forward to doing that. If you guys don't know what the RetroTink is or what the whole line of stuff is, basically, this is an extremely abridged version of it. Mike makes devices that make it possible to take your old retro game consoles and hook it up to modern TVs and have them, frankly, look a lot better. That's an extreme injustice to all the work that actually goes into this, but that's the easiest and fastest way to explain the basic core purpose. This one supports component input. It has 3.5mm audio input, VGA input, which is nice because aside from the Dreamcast and the Apple Pippin, I don't know when else you would really need that, at least within the context of consoles. To be fair, there are some other systems that support it, but those are the two where I would recommend it. Anyway, optical audio in, HDMI input, HDMI output, obviously powered, uses USB-C power, and then on the front it also has S-Video and composite. It looks like it has an SD card slot. Like, obviously I haven't used this yet. Yeah, there's a RetroTink 4K SD card of some kind. Like, I haven't obviously had a chance to use this thing whatsoever. Oh, there's also a SCART input port as well. I'm really looking forward to it. The production quality on this has really gone up. This seems less like a guy making it kind of tinkering, and this is more like this came out of a factory, which it probably did. Yeah, very much looking forward to playing with that at some point. So stay tuned to review video for this. Huge shout out to Mike. I'll put a link in the description as well to the RetroTink 4K. So if you already know what it is and you want to pick it up, you can do that. Again, I'll put a link to this, to Power Up Gaming, to Unitech. Yeah, just huge shout out to everybody involved here. Obviously, shout out to Jesse for this. Shout out to the people at the Toronto Game Expo. And of course, shout out to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving if you're an American. And if you're not, I hope you just had a nice November. Stay tuned for December. There's going to be a lot of content coming up. My birthday stream will be right around the corner. That'll be a lot of fun on December 8th, as well as a whole bunch of videos, clearly. Yeah, it'll be fun. So happy holidays in advance. You guys are awesome. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate that. As always, check out all the social media stuff in the description: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, etc. Spreadshirt, the travel channel, appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.